the mother's spirit haunts her little son. And after her every visit, the boy finds himself in deadly danger. Don't miss out. Does the late mother really want to take her son to the other world? This is Psychic Investigations, a channel of true stories. Here, people who call themselves clairvoyants investigate resonant criminal cases and mysterious anomalies. This is Iván Malamán. He's 8 years old and he's from Ukraine. He's in 3rd grade and wants to be president. However, the boy's family are afraid to have hopes for such a distant future, as recently something has been happening to Iván, after which he finds himself one step away from death.
When he's sick, it's never a mere cold or flu or bronchitis. If he's ill, it's always something grave.
Iván's mother died last year from lung cancer. His father left his family even before the boy was born, and so his aunt raises him, and she's extremely worried about him.
I don't know what to do and where to go.
It all started last year. At night, while Iván was sleeping in his room, the wardrobe suddenly fell on him.
It fell. I don't get how it happened. He broke both his arms.
How is it possible that the wardrobe that had been in the room for years suddenly fell on the child? The boy claims that he saw a dark silhouette in his room right before it happened.
It was a woman. She was calling me somewhere, but I refused to go with her.
No sooner had the boy recovered from the incident when another misfortune that almost killed him happened to him.
Iván had salmonellosis.
Salmonellosis is an inflammatory condition affecting the intestines. A patient becomes dehydrated.
Immediately after the treatment ended, the boy's life was in danger again. This time, he had meningitis.
Meningitis causes inflammatory changes in the membranes, covering the brain and spinal cord. It can cause loss of consciousness and spasms. In extreme cases, it may be lethal.
The boy was saved. The boy's family say the incidents began last year, after Iván's mother passed away. But the most peculiar thing is that before every injury or illness, Iván sees his late mother in his dreams.
He said he'd seen his mom in a dream. I asked what was in it. He said she grabbed him and ran.
I heard Mom calling me. When I closed my eyes, I saw her somewhere around.
Recently, the late Olha has also begun haunting Victoria in her dreams.
I had a dream of Olha walking along the hall and going outside. She took Iván and sat down on the stairs with him. She hugged him and told him something, but I didn't hear what she was saying.
She tried to tell me something, but I couldn't hear her.
Victoria fears that the boy's mother is trying to take him to the world of the dead, and the next time, they can be too late to save Iván.
I beg the psychics to come and help me. They are my last hope.
Clairvoyant Olena Kurilova and Molfar Olena Stetsenko undertook to help Iván.
I had a dream. There was a strange room and fire started burning on its floor, closing a circle. And in the middle of the circle, there was this boy. He was tracing his finger along the floor, and the flames made numbers, looking like 16 and 76.
I see a man next to the boy. The man has his face covered with cracks, and I see embers glowing through the cracks. He's by the child all the time, and he puts the boy's life in danger.
What do the psychic's eerie visions mean? What is threatening the boy's life? Iván's aunt and the boy himself meet clairvoyants in the park not far from their home. The boy often goes for a walk there.
Hello? I've been looking forward to meeting you. I prayed. I wanted you to come and help us so much.
I need to check through these stones if he's got a connection with the world of the dead. Close them in your hand.
I'm scared.
I saw a large black raven flying over Iván. Then it vanished.
Iván, can I have the stones? They're ice cold. It only happens when somebody is surrounded by a dead person's energy.
I feel a scent. It's a perfume with citrus notes.
It's Mom's perfume. It smells like oranges.
It turned out that Iván feels the scent of his late mother's perfume almost every day. And at night, she visits him in his dreams, which provokes new challenges for the 8-year-old boy.
What was your mom's name?
Olha.
She's worried about money. She fears you may not have enough to raise him.
Olha was a sales assistant at a clothing store. Unfortunately, her private life didn't go well, and so she raised her son alone. She dedicated her life to his welfare.
She was young and beautiful. I want my mom back.
Death took Olha too soon. She was only 28.
This is Mom and me. She holds me next to the Christmas tree. She gave me this race car as a New Year present. It reminds me of her.
I told Olha, you won't die, you will live. I was sure she would live a long life, but it happened the other way round.
Iván, go play.
Did you treat her like your daughter?
I had a custody over her.
Victoria's life wasn't easy. She doesn't remember her father, and her mother died. Her both elder brothers married and lived separately, and so Victoria stayed alone with 3 younger siblings. Back then, she was adult, so she became a guard for her younger brother and sisters.
It was hard, very hard. Olha helped me and I could rely on her.
While we were sitting on the bench and Iván was playing on the playground, I noticed Olha's spirit behind the boy.
You know, Olha is trying to tell him something, but she can't.
Iván's mother was weeping. She begged, "Help me. I don't want his death. Not me."
Olha's spirit showed me a bizarre picture. She was sitting at a table in a room and a dog attacked her. But the dog wasn't alive. It was burning with flames. The dog. Before her death, Olha saw the flaming dog.
Yes, Olha saw it in her dreams. She said, there's this big dog. It's sitting and looking at me with its large eyes. I saw fire.
It often happens that before someone dies in their dreams, they're visited by angels of death or their assistants, which are called guides. And the flaming dog was one of such guides. They can take up any form. They show the dying person the way to the other world.
It's terrifying, but the boy said he'd seen the flaming dog in his dream the other night.
Did the dog drag you somewhere?
Yes, the dog was barking and biting me. It was flaming. And it had red eyes.
I was shocked to hear what Iván told us. It meant he could die any moment.
Olena, what is it?
Don't approach me, don't approach me. Take Iván away. I saw the black raven again. It had red eyes like flames. It was a spirit. I felt hatred, anger, and at the same time, unbearable suffering. And that was it. Then the vision ended abruptly.
Olha's spirit was whispering to me, "This spirit visited me, and now it's haunting my son. Save my child."
Being in the other world, Olha did everything she could to protect her child from what had killed her.
There is some kind of secret. It's connected with Olha. I see pictures. I see a building. It's tall. It's an apartment building, and its walls are white and blue.
This is where I live.
We must go there.
My goodness.
The green grass is burning.
It's unusual, as it had rained in the morning, and the ground remained damp.
When I turned around, I was struck. For a heartbeat, I saw Victoria's face and body burning too. She was shrouded in flames.
We noticed that Victoria felt unwell and started trembling.
I don't know why I'm trembling. I can't explain it.
But the strangest thing of all was that Victoria remembered she'd experienced something similar in the morning before the psychics arrived. And then, for some reason, wallpapers started burning in her apartment.
This morning, the wallpaper in the kitchen caught fire. I don't know why. There was nobody in the kitchen.
They noticed and extinguished the fire in time. Could it be a mere coincidence?
I feel the smell of burning again.
And again, everybody felt the specific scent. It was coming from the outside.
The van is on fire.
Oh God.
Don't approach it.
It can't be real. The engine of the van in which the psychics had arrived started burning suddenly. Luckily, the driver was nearby, and he extinguished the fire. The vehicle had no apparent damage to it. Nobody knows what caused it.
It's got something to do with fire. It's terrifying. Iván is in real danger. I see the boy. His back is on fire.
We were shocked. It turned out that a few weeks before, a power outage happened in the apartment where Iván and his aunt live. They burned candles, but one of them suddenly fell on the boy's back. His clothes caught fire. Fortunately, they extinguished the fire quickly.
Fire. It's been haunting your bloodline, your family.
A man's spirit emerged behind Victoria. He was whispering to me that he'd been killed by fire. He embraced Victoria and said, "She and I are one."
I had a feeling of something close by behind me.
I saw a grave and green trees around it. It was a large stele.
It's my uncle. He's got a large tombstone. It's gray. He crashed while driving a tanker truck, and he burned alive.
Victoria and Olha's late uncle, Victor, died tragically when he was 30. On his way back from work, his tanker truck overturned and started burning. The door got blocked, and the driver, unable to get out of the vehicle, burned alive.
Let's go to the cemetery, quick. We need to see your uncle's grave. You're trembling terribly. What is this?
When the Molfar began tuning in, the magic bouquet in her hands suddenly burned. The psychic barely extinguished the fire.
Suddenly, when I turned to Victoria, I saw flames on her shoulders. It was a vision. It looked like she was the fire herself. And another odd thing was that whenever something burned nearby, she began trembling.
During the investigation, something burned whenever Victoria was near or she was nervous. It couldn't be a coincidence.
The fire starts every time she's nervous, anxious, or angry. Something strange happened on this grave.
It's been unearthed. It was unsealed. When somebody is buried, a priest reads a prayer over the grave to seal it. It is done so the spirit of a dead person doesn't harm the living. When you come to a sealed grave, it's got an energy dome over it. But there was none over Victor's grave. It's been unsealed.
My grandpa and another uncle unearthed it. Because Grandpa had bad nightmares.
After he was buried, the dead son began haunting his father, asking him to bring him his favorite suit. The man didn't hesitate to go to the cemetery to unearth the grave and put the suit in it.
When the dead visit their relatives in their dreams, asking them for something, they shouldn't unearth the grave and open up the casket. It's enough to put the things on top of the grave.
Was it when you were born?
Yes.
It turned out that Victoria was born on the day when her grandfather unearthed her uncle's grave. But how is it connected to the fire that's following her everywhere?
You were named after the man who burned in the tanker truck.
Yes.
Victoria.
When parents name their child after their late relative, they bind the child's energy to that of the dead person.
But in case with Victoria, something absolutely incredible happened. The newborn girl was named after her deceased uncle, and on the day when she was born, his grave was unsealed. Because of this, the dead man's spirit was free to roam the world.
The spirit possessed her, it recreated itself in her.
Each time Victoria has an emotional outburst, the spirit bound to her feels it, and fire starts burning. The reason is that her uncle died in fire. You need to ask a priest how to seal the grave and have a remembrance service at the church. Thus, you'll protect yourself and your name.
And then I realized who was the man I'd seen next to Iván while I was working with the photo. It was Victoria and Olha's uncle. However, he wasn't the spirit. That took the life of the boy's mom and is now trying to kill him.
When we were at the cemetery, I heard a female voice calling, "See the numbers, see the numbers." And I saw a woman. Wait. She's sitting on a chair, holding a board on her lap. There's something written on it. Let me see it. Light the fire. I clearly saw 76. What does 76 mean in your life?
It's the number of my apartment.
Wait up, what does 16 mean?
On the 4th floor. In the next block,
There's apartment 16.
yes, a woman from there died in fire. A young woman.
As it turned out, the tragedy occurred 2 years ago. A couple lived in the apartment number 16. The man was jealous of his partner and strangled her. And then, to cover up the traces of the murder, he set the apartment on fire. The woman and Iván's mom were best friends.
I felt fear and guilt emanating from Olha's spirit. And these feelings emerged whenever she thought of the apartment 16. We need to see it, or at least approach the apartment in which the woman burned. But first, I'd like to check your apartment.
I'm going to that other apartment to see what's there.
I see Olha.
This is her room.
May I come in? I have a feeling of very strong pain. She died here. Give me Olha's portrait. What are you trying to tell me, Olha? I hurt. I won't forgive you. She's not forgiven. By a fiery spirit. Could it be the woman who burned? What was Olha doing? What's the board for?
I have no idea what it's for.
It's a board for summoning spirits.
She summoned spirits.
These are Victoria's bothers, Alexander and Pavlo. They've just come back from work. They say they saw Olha summon spirits with the board many times.
I won't forgive Olha. I hurt.
Who says that?
The one she summoned. Let's find Olena. What's there? Tell me.
I was where the woman had burned, and her spirit said, "I won't forgive. I hurt."
I saw a spiritism ceremony. She conducted it. And the woman, she's restless. She was disturbed before 40 days passed. She involuntarily disturbed the spirit. The raven I saw all the time, the one that was flying over the boy in circles, wishing for revenge, was the spirit of Olha's late friend. Disturbing a spirit before the 40 days after a person's death pass means bringing it an ordeal. The spirit can't rest then, and it hurts badly.
The spirit is avenging, trying to take away the child. Because Iván is Olha's child, her blood runs in him.
Give me water from your house, bring it here, and I'll put a protection spell. Stand over here. Iván, come over here. Let me wash your face.
How are you? How do you feel?
I'm fine.
It's such a relief. Thank you. Thank you for coming and helping us.
It's unbelievable. Due to the failed magic ritual, the woman condemned herself and her child to death. Fortunately, the psychics prevented one more tragedy from happening. If you're impressed by the story, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Many more impressive investigations are still ahead.